I'm Jonathan with the Yukon Project, and today I'm going to answer the common question, how many credit cards should I have? How many credit cards should I have? I'm not going to beat around the bush. I'm going to start by giving you the answer, but the rest of the video will talk about why, which cards, and how it all works. So how many credit cards should you have? 3. Yep, it's as simple as that. And it's a lot more complicated. How many credit cards does the average person have? That's a simple question, but statistics aren't usually that simple. Around 80% of the US population have a credit card, so about 1 in every 5 don't. People that have credit scores below 700 are about 3 times as likely to not have a credit card at all. So if we exclude the people who don't have a credit card at all, we find that adults usually have between 3 and 5 credit cards in the United States. How many credit cards should I have for good credit? The truth of the matter is that if you can't handle credit cards, then 1 is too many. Missing payments and racking up high utilization rates will create a deep headwind to building a strong credit score. If you can keep your balances low, use the cards consistently, pay on time, and pay the balances in full every month, then the ideal number of cards to have is 3. That will give you the best chance of improving your credit score. What is the benefit of having multiple credit cards? Having a single credit card can help you build your credit score, but there are 3 great reasons for having multiple cards. First, multiple credit cards builds a thicker history of on-time payments. Second, multiple credit cards gives you access to more credit in case of emergencies. And third, multiple credit cards can help you keep your credit utilization low. So if you can handle it, there are good reasons for having more than 1 credit card. Why do I have to use the credit card if I want it to increase my credit score? You have to use the credit card because an unused card doesn't register a payment, and that means it's not helping your credit score the way it could. By making a purchase and paying the balance in full, you are keeping the credit card active and you're registering a payment. That payment is 80% of the reason for having the card if you're trying to build your credit score. The other 20% is for utilization rates, length of credit history, and financial flexibility. Is it bad to have a lot of credit cards with 0 balances? It's never a bad thing to have credit cards with 0 balances. That's great for your credit utilization. It shows you have access to credit and use it responsibly. However, if you're trying to grow your credit score, you want on-time payments to be reported to the credit bureaus. But you don't need to go into debt to do this. All you have to do is make a small charge to the card and pay the bill in full every month. It could be a subscription service. You'll get credit for the payment, and by paying off the bill in total every month, you'll never be in debt and you'll never pay interest. Why is 3 the right number of cards for having good credit? The single most important factor in having a strong credit score is having a recent history of on-time payments. This history of payments, of course, isn't the only thing impacting your credit, but if you've logged a lot of recent on-time payments, then you're much more likely to have a good credit score. Having 3 credit cards, each reporting on-time payments to the credit bureaus every single month, is a great way to build that history. What's the best way to use 3 credit cards to build a good credit score? Some of you probably got clammy hands and a little bit nervous about the idea of building up a lot of debt with 3 credit cards. But having and even using 3 credit cards doesn't mean carrying debt. You don't even need to use them for your day-to-day purchases. Put a subscription on each of the cards, set it to automatic payment, and hide them in your sock drawer if you want. A $9 payment every month is just as good as a $900 payment for building your credit score. Is having 3 credit cards too many? Is having 5 credit cards too many? In looking through anonymized credit bureau data, we once saw someone with 25 credit cards. Far be it from me to tell people how to live their lives, but That seems like too many cards to me. The reality is that the payment building benefits of credit cards on your credit score diminishes after 3 cards. So you really don't need more than that. But the real answer is that any number of cards is too many if you lose track of the bills, rack up debt, and can't keep them organized. Can I have 2 of the same credit card? You might love the rewards offered by one of your credit cards, but you can't get another of the same card. You could ask your credit card company to increase your credit limit if you want to charge more with that card, but you will still only have 1 payment per month with that card reported to the credit bureaus. Of course, increasing the credit limit if you keep your balances low will help lower your utilization rate. But if you're trying to get to 3 active credit cards, you've got to find another card. Are gas or store cards the same as credit cards? When you are using credit cards to build your credit score, you should not count gas cards or store cards in your optimal number of credit cards. Gas and store cards show up as retail cards in your credit report, and lenders and credit score agencies view them differently. While they can help you build your credit when you make on-time payments every month, they are considered less valuable in most instances and will not play as big a role in building your credit score. What's more, you can't use them everywhere. They're called closed-loop cards, and that means you're locked into only using them at the store that you got them from. Why are retail cards considered different than regular credit cards? A retail credit card is different than a regular credit card because it's a closed-loop card. That just means you can only use it at the store on the name of the card. If the card has, say, Visa, MasterCard, or American Express on it, it is an open-loop card. That means they're considered open because you can use it anywhere those brands are accepted, and not just at the retail store on the card. Those open-loop cards are better at building credit, and it gives you the flexibility of being able to use that card anywhere those brands are accepted. Is a secured credit card a good idea? Secured credit cards are perfectly fine to use as part of your 3 credit cards when you're trying to build your credit. This is especially true if you are building your credit from scratch or if you're rebuilding it after some problems that you've had in your life. If your credit score is low, a secured card might actually be the only one you can qualify for. But that's okay. Secured cards show up on your credit report just like other cards would. You just have to be careful to keep the balances low on a secured card because the credit limits on a secured card are often low. You don't want a high utilization rate reported to the bureaus because that could also depress your credit score as you're trying to build it. Will getting the credit cards hurt my credit score? It is important to remember that applying for credit can give your credit score a temporary hit. That's because applying for new credit results in a hard credit inquiry. The impact of hard inquiries fade in a couple of months, but you do need to be aware that there will be a temporary hit to your credit score. Actually having the credit cards on your credit report won't hurt your credit though. What could hurt your credit is missing payments or having high utilization. So it's really important that when you're new to that credit card, you get in the habit of making the payment and not overcharging with it so that you don't run into those new problems. If you have tips or tricks on how to manage your credit cards effectively, consider leaving a comment below so others can benefit from your experience. If you are interested in learning more about credit cards or credit scores, or even finding the best credit card for you, head on over to the Yukon Project. Please consider liking this video and subscribing to our channel. Thanks for watching.